start. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our Analytic Tableau user group today. So the Analytic Tableau user group, we are meeting every month, and we talk about analytic in Tableau. Very easy. Yeah, we met every month. Sometimes in August we make a little break, but otherwise that's this. Please make sure that you're subscribed in Bevy and you are following us in social media. And don't worry, this session is being recorded, so you just have to have fun and follow along. If you have some good topic, you can always reach out to us, and we will try to bring the topic to you on the next month. We are three leaders. Prasam, who cannot join today, sadly, is a database manager and Emirate. Shimdi, who is a database designer at this site analytics, and myself. So we have a short introduction for each of us. So my name is Annabelle Rincon, like I said. You can follow me in Twitter and LinkedIn. Here you have my blog's information. I have the chance to be a visionary and ambassador. I have worked as a Tableau enablement and analytic lead in the past. I discovered Tableau 10 years ago and I fell in love immediately. I have only 6 views of the day. We'll see about this KPI later. And yes, I'm co-leading this analytic Tableau user group and an enablement webinar. And I love baking. That's also one of... I should put that on my CV, maybe. I will have a lot of leads. And then we have also Prasam. Prasam fell in love with Tableau and the data farm. And he's doing a lot of activities. So even if it started Tableau in 2020, and he works currently as a manager data visualization at Emirate. He has been mentoring several data professionals around the world. And yes, he has 19K followers on LinkedIn, crazy. And he has 4 V's of the day. He loves cat food and anime. Almost perfect. I will say dog food and anime myself, but that's something. And then we have Chimdi. Chimdi is also visionary and ambassador as a freelance and contract data visualization. He fell in love and all in for Tableau in 2020, the same year as Prasam, and is a 16 V's of the Day recipient. I mean, if you are not following him on Tableau Public, you should probably, because what he does is really awesome. And yes, a fun fact from him is a Vish junkie and he enjoys documentary and working out. That's the ground rule for today. Like I said, please use the chat, say where you are coming from. If you have some dedicated question, it's easier to use a Q&A for us, so to be able to track them. And this session is being recorded. You will be able to find it on our Tableau YouTube channel that I will post the link in a moment. And please don't hesitate to send some love to our speaker in social media and to us also. That will be very much appreciated. And then I will let Chimdi introduce our awesome agenda for today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Annabelle. So we've done our intro. And so for today, we've got 3 amazing speakers. We've got Nobu, who's going to talk to us about the power of hiding data. Preethi, who's going to talk to us about a guide to documentation. And Maureen, who's going to talk to us about Tableau MCP, which is a way we can communicate with our Tableau. And so first off, we have Nobu, who I'm actually familiar with from MakeoverMonday. He's a database and business intelligence manager. He's got a lot of experiences in Tableau to design dashboards and reporting. And he currently serves as Director of Visual Analytics at R1 RCM, a U.S. revenue cycle management company. Like I mentioned, he's an active contributor to MakeoverMonday. And last year, he actually completed all the submissions. I thought that was really amazing because he always comes in with these nicely thought out designs, very good analysis, paired with very good visuals. And he also likes to talk about his process and share tools and resources for the community who also are interested in what he's doing. And so he's bringing that kind of ideology here, basically to talk about some of the things that he knows. He's a passionate trainer and coach, and he also shares written commentary with the submission, like I mentioned. So I would recommend following him. He goes into a lot of details. He talks about, how he thinks through what he's doing, and of course the resources, like I mentioned. So today he's going to talk about a very useful skill, or rather, what should I call this? Like a technique in Tableau, which is hiding data. And he's going to show us how he built his Radial Heatmap, which I think one visit a day with that. And so I'm going to pass it off to him. It's going to be a good session of learning. And I like these ones because it gives us stuff we can actually apply into our visits. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to pass it over to you, Nobu, to bring us the goodies.
Chimdi, sorry, we had a last minute change. Preethi will go first.
Okay. I will swap. All right, so Preethi, let me do the quick intro. She's a data analytics and insights manager at the University of Massachusetts. She leverages data and design to visually convey insights and tell stories. Her background is a tech degree in computer science, and she has a master's from Texas A&M. She's a 4-time ambassador, so since 2022, and she actually co-leads not one, but 2 tugs, the Tableau Public tug and the Boston tug. She believes in leveraging data and design to visually convey insights and tell stories. She also participates in community challenges, and her topics range from sports to arts to higher education and current events. Today, she's going to talk to us about another core aspect of Tableau, which is documentation. And for anyone who does this professionally, you can already understand why this is very impactful. So I'm going to pass it over to her to bring us the goodies.
Thank you, Chimdi. Okay, I'm going to quickly share my screen. Somebody just give me a thumbs up. Screen is visible. Okay, so I got it. Thank you. Okay, so hey everyone, thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to talk to you all about something that I think most of us have struggled at some point. So I want this to be a little bit interactive. So I will be asking you some questions, and show me thumbs up or agree with the questions that I'm asking in the chat. So I have the chat open, so I look forward to talking to you all. So what does today's agenda look like? We'll start with some of the challenges that happen when a documentation of sorts for your dashboard is missing. Then I will go ahead and break it down into the 7 essential components that you could use for a good documentation. I will walk you through some practical strategies of what you could do right now using the product features in Tableau, or you could create an entire different set of what you could be doing. And I will quickly show you a real world example of what this process could look like, followed by a template. And then we will wrap it up all by talking about what needs to happen once you create this documentation, so your dashboards can live successfully even without you. Okay, and as we said, we have the Q&A option. So if you have your questions, pop them up in the Q&A. Okay, as Chimdi had already introduced me, I'm Preethi Lodha. I am a director of data analytics and operations. There was a promotion that happened recently, so the titles have changed. I still working at University of Massachusetts. A little bit about Tableau about me. I'm a 4-time Tableau ambassador now. I do have a visualization with over 1 million views on my portfolio. So go engage with it. It's fun. Trust me, I had a question about how are people spending money, and I went and found the data, and I was trying to see if I am in the same spending range or not. And also co-lead the Tableau Public user group. So if you ever wonder all those viz of the days that people get, how are they building it? What is the process behind it? We bring people to come talk at the Tableau Public user group. They showcase that in the Boston Tableau user group. It's an awesome group. So if you're in Boston, please come and join us. Okay, so this is where we are going to start with the documentation challenge. I'm going to show you 3 scenarios. Let me know by show of hands if you have experienced this. The first scenario is you have been asked to update a dashboard that you did not build. You open the file and nothing is making sense. So the field names are like calc_1 or filter test final, and you are feeling like Sherlock Holmes and you are like, I don't know what's happening. This is a real example. One of my dashboards was broken and I had to investigate it for a good 5 to 10 minutes. And then we found that one of our analysts was trying to figure a filter test out, a different filter, and that filter was broken. And that is why the dashboard was not working. But the funny thing was the naming convention of the filter was filter test final. It gave me no information about what the filter was doing. Second scenario, the headache, the handoff headache. This is the scenario where some of us do get consultants or folks that come and build these beautiful dashboards and they get handed over, or you build a beautiful dashboard and you hand it over to a different group. And the person does not have an understanding of what the filters or the parameters or the KPIs that you built mean. You didn't plan for this moment. So they are going to have a rough time if anything breaks down in that dashboard, unless you leave them a map of solving that, right? Yeah. The third scenario, this is my favorite because I've experienced this, where I built something, but 6 months down the line, I forgot what was all involved in that build. So months later, you might be trying to fix it. You are staring at your own calculations and be thinking, what was I even thinking here? Why is this a complex calculation in my workbook? So for all this, a documentation is just as much for you as of the future person who is going to engage in your dashboard. Okay, so what are the 3 different common struggles that we see? You don't know the why behind the dashboard sometimes. There's no explanation of the key calculations or filters. You are afraid to touch anything in your dashboard because you are scared something might break. You don't have a rollback plan of what happens if your dashboard breaks. So the good news is these problems are completely avoidable if you have a solid documentation going in the backend. So the question now comes is, what you include in this documentation? So as I said, we will talk about 7 key components of what you should be covering. So this is the general overview of what it would be. I'm going to walk you through in detail. Just a quick understanding, you do not need to write a novel. It is just something enough for someone else or your future self. You can pick it up and have an understanding of this dashboard. So let's come to the first part, which is the overview. This is the big picturesque of your dashboard. So what is this dashboard for? Who is going to use it? What are the key metrics that are being tracked? This is like your elevator pitch for your dashboard, right? So it provides all the necessary context that anybody needs before getting into the details. You can make it as elaborate as possible or as constrained as possible. Again, this is like a layout. Make it your own. Change it to the needs of your organization or your company. The second thing is the data part. Where is it coming from? How is it connected? Is it live or extracted? This section should help your user understand the foundation of your dashboard so they know where the data is coming from before they start analyzing the visuals. So you have to go through section by section, right? Whenever you are investigating a broken dashboard, you go section by section and have an understanding, right? So this is where it comes. The key component I would say is if you have any database connections and you have user IDs and passwords that you are sharing, please do not place them in the documentation. Create a separate file and link it and password protect that file, because you don't want your login information to be accessible to anybody who is able to open your dashboards and stuff, right? Okay. So the third next component is where a lot of dashboards tend to fall apart. Your calculated fields or your parameters or your sets. If you have built a calculated field with nested logic or added parameters to customize your views, document them. What do they do? Where are they used? Where are they applied? Otherwise, somebody is going to spend hours trying to reverse engineer your thought process. And what are you capturing? This is pretty straightforward of what you are capturing. You are just capturing the field name, sometimes the calculation, and an understanding of what this calculation does. And this is a real world thing. I had to engage with a calculation which was nested. So it sort of, one calculation depended on what the other calculation was doing. And unless I open the calculation and have a look at it, I don't know how deeply nested this calculation is. But if you have it laid out in your documentation where you can see all the 3 calculations in one go, you know that this is a nested logic and these calculations are interdependent on each other. Finally, this is where the interactivity comes, right? The filters and actions of your dashboard. What dashboard filters are in place? Are there any highlight actions, URL actions, or sheet swaps that you are doing? These need to be documented because sometimes they often break silently when your data changes. Because it's a constant flow. Sometimes you can get bad data in your data sets. So that can break down your dashboard. So having an understanding of those filters and actions is really important. Again, pretty simple, straightforward. Your filters, you can assign. And as you know, with filters in Tableau, there is a hierarchy in which the filters get applied, right? Your context filters get applied first, then your dimension filters, then your measure filters, then your table calculation filters. So you have to organize it so you know where which filter is probably impacting your dashboard and it has broken down or needs to be improved. Lastly, this is not a lot of stuff that probably the developers do, but if you are maintaining your dashboard, performance is a big one. When I mention the performance, I'm referring to the speed with which you are working in Tableau. This could mean the speed of data analysis when you are using Tableau desktop with large corporate databases, or it could refer the speed with which the dashboard is loading onto your site, right? So you clicked on your Tableau server, and the expectation in your workplace is this dashboard needs to load in less than 5 seconds, and it is not, then the performance is being hindered. So you have to make sure that you have optimized the extract size, or you have limited your data by dropping unnecessary columns or aggregating at the appropriate level. So you're going to note all that information down into your documentation. Also, if you have noticed load time issues or quirks, mention that so that people know. And sometimes it might be that, hey, this is a special dashboard. It takes 8 seconds to load. So please do not come asking me why it is not loading in 5 seconds. It's a known condition. So you will save somebody a ton of time by capturing that information. Finally, I would say access and permissions. This is, again, a part of your documentation because it will provide a critical insight when you are troubleshooting or you're auditing your dashboards or you're handing them off. It sort of tracks the changes of who made them, when was it made, if there were changes made, why those changes were made. And it is important to have at least one person or a group so you can assign clear ownership of continued support and accountability for updates, because people tend to move within organizations or leave the organization. So somebody else needs to be responsible for the set of dashboards that have been generated, right? Okay, so that was a lot that I'm asking you to document. The next question you should be asking is, so how do we all do this in practice? And I see a few questions popping up. Yeah. While there are tools and technology, these are the two things that, again, coming from higher ed, we don't have a lot of money, so we try to be self-sufficient. So the thing I say is sometimes you probably don't need a fancy tool. If you have access to the tools, please go ahead and use it. But you can use your Tableau in product features. You can document right inside Tableau using comments and descriptions and color coding, or simple Word document template, or Google Doc, or SharePoint, whatever your organization uses. Figure one structure out and choose something that works for you and stick with it. So what would embedding documentation within your Tableau look like? These are few things that I'm going to talk about that you can do within your dashboard without leaving the Tableau workbook. Okay, so the first one is your data source, dimensions or measure field name may often be unclear because you are bringing your data in. They might be in the let's say database speak. There is person_ID. Probably it makes sense. It is identifying a person, but it might be useful if you have a data dictionary or an individual knowledge about that field that you are capturing. And how can you do that? You can do that by adding a comment. So it's basically adding the metadata or the data dictionary for that particular field over by adding a comment, which clarifies what those fields do and serve as a reference for your client. The second thing that I would say is you can please do this, because sometimes it is hard to understand the logic behind what is happening in the calculation. Knowing exactly why you created a calculated field, what it does at time, it makes it so much easier rather than somebody reverse engineering and having an understanding of what the calculation does. And how can you do that? You can do that by adding comments to your calculation. And as you see, to add the comments, you can use 2 forward slashes for a single line. But if you have a multi-line sort of an information, you use /*, write all your content in there and end it by //. And I am a person who likes to put my name on things. So I put that I wrote this calculation. And if somebody goes ahead and changes that calculation, they can identify the date and when they change the calculation and what does this calculation do now. So now there is a good amount of history that is getting captured. So you will never know the small details that will be helpful in future. The next thing, this is my favorite thing that a lot of people have not engaged with and don't know, and it is sheet description. Tableau workbooks have something called sheet description. So if you open your workbook and hit Control+E on Windows, I don't know what the shortcut on Mac is, but we'll figure that out in a minute. So Control+E, a sheet description pops up. And this is a way to jumpstart your documentation process. You just copy the portion of the sheet descriptions into a document. So let's say you have 10 workbooks in your dashboard. Go open those sheet descriptions, copy the components that you want, and place them. And the sheet description has all the information about the rows and columns you have used. What are the fields that you have placed on mark cards? What are the calculation formulas you have used? The comments you have made, your data source name, the type of connection, the link and location. So there is so much information that is being readily available. And finally, this is a simple thing that it is also a best practice of when you are building your dashboards, is color code your worksheets. So it sort of helps organize visually for the people who are coming and working with your dashboard. So let's say you have 3 dashboards and each dashboard has 2 workbooks in it, and color code them. So people are able to have a visual clue that will help them identifying which workbooks are they supposed to be working with rather than trying to figure those things out by themselves. So that is an example of a Superstore database of what the color-coded dashboard could look like. Okay, so now comes the other part where the real world documentation, right? So now I'm going to quickly do a demo of both the structures of what this could look like. What are the 3 things or the 4 things that I talked about in the workbook could look like, and quickly show you what a documentation sample could look like. Let's do this. And okay, let's go to our workbook. Okay. So this is the Superstore dashboard, right? Everybody's first experience probably when you foray into Tableau, it shows you what the dashboards look like. And as I said, you can very easily color code them. So if you click, let's go here. So what I've done is I've color coded. So there is a product dashboard. And you see I've color coded the workbooks that are in there, and you are able to see it. How do you do that? So you just right click on your workbook and identify whichever color you want. There's a limitation here though, because there are only a few colors that you can assign to each workbook or each dashboard. The expectation would be that you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 dashboards in your dashboard section that is going to happen. So the next thing that I was talking about, let's go back, is commenting your measures and dimensions, right? So let's go to our workbook. And if you right click on here and very quickly just say default properties, hide comment, it will pop up this comment box and you just type in whatever information that you want to put and click OK. And whenever in future, somebody who's come to this dashboard does not know about this data set very well and they are hovering over, they get this small snippet. You can do this for your calculations. You can do this for your parameters. You can do for everything that you can comment it and provide this capability so that your person who's trying to figure this dashboard out does not have to open every single calculation in per se. So while I'm here, let me show you a quick trick. So sometimes you have a lot of calculations and you don't know how to go about. So in the search column, if you go and type C:, it is showing me all the calculations that are in my workbook. So yay, I got all my calculations. Now as I said, we are going to open one of these calculations. Let's see, edit. Oh, funny thing, it was showing up on the other screen. I was like, where's the calculation? I don't see it. Okay, here it is. And as we said, we are going to add a comment. We are going to have an understanding of what this calculation means. So 2 forward slashes, type in the information, number of days it takes to ship, right? So you have said that, and please do make sure that it says the calculation is valid at the bottom, because sometimes when we are typing these comments, you might not have had both the forward slashes or something might have happened. So this is a very good space, and you click OK. So next time when somebody is trying to have an understanding of dashboards, of your calculations, can come and open it and have a look at it. Now coming to the thing that I was talking about, which is going to jumpstart your dashboard documentation, is the worksheet. You can always go into worksheet option and click on describe sheet. Or as I said, if you go here and just type Control E, it pops up the sheet description. So what does the sheet description have? It is providing you with all the information of the things that are happening within that particular workbook. So it is sort of a jump start for your dashboards. The thing is, you can only copy this. You are not able to make any changes. That's why we were saying copy this and paste it into a Word document and stack all those sheet descriptions, and you can modify it rather than having to type every single thing. So those were the few things that you can do within the Tableau itself. But now the question is, what does the documentation sheet look like? So to show that, I'm going to go back here. And this is a sample of what the dashboard documentation could look like. Again, those are the sections that we already talked about, the 7 sections. But you might see here, there are a few extra sections I have. As I said, this is an evolving document. You are going to make it your own depending upon the needs of your organization, the size of your organization, the maintenance of your organization. There's an extra section here called worksheets and layout, because a lot of people want to know what are the worksheets and if there are any custom colors that they should pay attention to, or if you have any conditional formatting that you're doing. So all that information is getting captured. My favorite part is this one, right? So as I was saying, the calculated fields, if you were in a workbook, you will be opening every single calculation and trying to figure it out. But with the calculated fields, if you have documented it, it gives you a nice table, which is showing you, hey, what is the calculation name? What is the calculation formula actually? And what is the purpose of it? And if you have nested, you can nest them here so you have a clear understanding of the nested calculation could look like. So pretty simple, straightforward information. You're capturing this. This is a maintenance sort of a situation that is happening. Okay, so now let's go to, you have done all this work, right? And a lot of times it's not just doing the work, it is the maintenance that you have to make sure by handing it off to the next person who is going to take care of it. Documenting is one thing, but knowledge transfer is the other thing that you have to do when you are in these scenarios. I would say if you have the option, do both. Bring your team in. Do a walkthrough session of once you have built these documentation. If you have created a hub, let people know, hey, here is where all the documentation for the dashboards that we are building sits. Document any assumptions or dependencies that might be existing in your scenario. Capture any version or rollback plan, because sometimes we do have a couple of versions, right? Like you have implemented new features in the current dashboard, but that it has broken down. Is there a rollback plan? Can the users engage with the previous dashboard and they know, hey, this is the previous dashboard, something broke down in the current dashboard and we are working on it. So your users are not in large of seeing a broken down dashboard and nothing is working. Please do secure your source file and credentials. As I said, do not paste them in your dashboard documentation. Create a link and password protect that file also, so people who don't need to know who all can engage with this dashboard, what are the user IDs and passwords for your databases, don't know that information. And finally, assign a point of contact within this group. It is the best part, right? As much as we take pride in building these gorgeous dashboards, it is also the life cycle of maintaining it and making sure the users know the right person to come back and have a conversation with. That is it. That was a lot of information that I throw at you. And as I said, dashboard development process can be, please do not treat it as an afterthought. Make sure you make it a part of your dashboard building process. There's no substitute to the original dashboard builder's knowledge, but a good documentation would be the next best thing that you can have. And I'm hoping incorporating these tips will make the process easier and beneficial for your next developer or future user. And just for a bonus, I do have a documentation template if you want to scan. And as this is being recorded, this is going to be present. You can very easily grab the template and make it your own. And that's all. That is all. Thank you so much for hanging out. And let me see if I'm going to stop share and see if you all have any questions or any thoughts for me.
Yes, amazing talk. We do actually have a few questions in the Q&A. So the first one says, do you also have suggestions or methods for documenting within prep flows?
Yes, I do. So we have been very recently started using prep flows, and with the prep flows also we have seen that you can add a lot of comments and understanding within the flow. But the best thing that I found was having a process of naming convention for your flows when you are building. That is very helpful. Provide as much insight into the flow and every step of the flow as you can, so the people can see what is happening in the prep flow, rather than just saying, hey, this is a join. And I'm like, I don't know what join it is. Probably say this is joining these two tables and it is based on these fields. So it is, rather than me now sort of having to investigate the join or the flow itself, it happens. Sadly, I don't have a documentation for the flow, but we have seen a lot of success in just adding the comments and information within the prep flow to be beneficial.
Awesome. So just add your comments and that should be helpful. The next one is, have you found any AI tools that are helpful to create and update documentation?
You know what? I'm going to give a shout out to Scott here, Scott Eaton from, he and I had a conversation once I had this presentation going, and there's a tool, I think it's called Rapid Docs. I might be wrong, but there exists a tool, and what it was generating was pretty close to what I was suggesting that you document. It is not an AI tool. It is a company, I think. But you know what? Recently, I was at one of the Tableau Public session, and we were talking about Tableau MCP, and we were like, you know what? There's an opportunity within the data fam right now to go ahead and figure out if we can, based on all this information of your Tableau workbook, create a documentation out of it. So, hey, data fam, an opportunity is knocking. Think about it.
Very true. Someone bring it, make it happen. Okay, we'll do one more. And then if it's okay, Preethi, when we're done, maybe just go through. I think there are two more. If you can just answer those directly in the chat, that would be super helpful.
Yeah.
So for one more, it says, is it possible to control or edit the output for descriptions in Tableau?
Yeah, no, you can't. You can only copy it, and you bring it to a Word document or whichever place you're placing it, and then manipulate it. Tableau currently does not give us the capability of modifying the worksheet descriptions.
Yeah, fair. And I mean, to be fair, what is contained in the descriptions is really good information anyway. So I think it's pretty decent. Yeah. All right. So thanks so much. Amazing tips. Very, very applicable in our day today. So it's beautiful. This is recorded. If you want to come back later on and catch some things, come back and do that. I highly recommend it. Next, we have Nobu. I've done a brief introduction, but I'll let him do his own introduction. And he's going to be talking to us about building a radial heat map with Tableau features natively. And this is something that people are sometimes use different methods, but I think this is going to be very simple and straightforward to get that whole goal accomplished. So over to you, Nobu.
All right. Thank you, Timothy, for a very kind and complimentary introduction. All right. So just additional information about me. So hi, everyone. I'm Nobu Kimura. I have profiles in both Tableau Public and LinkedIn. So if you're interested, please follow me. So additional info about myself. I grew up in Hiroshima, Japan. It's a city with unfortunate history, but it is a very beautiful city today, and it is surrounded by the sea and mountains. I really love the city, and I do like to come back whenever I have a chance. In addition, it serves my favorite food, Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki. After spending 18 years in the city, I went to studying a few things. Right? So I studied literature at Tokai University, spent a year in Spain, and also took a master's degree at London School of Economics. Interestingly, none of these studies contribute to data analytics. They are all literature and history. But here I am working in the data space. And entering the workforce, I worked at Deloitte as a management and technology consultant. Then I took an internal role focused on internal stakeholders, designing data visualizations and interactive dashboards. And recently, I moved to a company called R1 RCM. It's a company focused on revenue cycle management, which is to help healthcare systems recover their bills from both payers and patients. Outside of work, I enjoy fishing, skiing, and also playing pool. However, recently my son has gotten into my hobbies and started to beat me in every front of my hobbies. So I need to escape from this, and I've had to find other things that I can truly enjoy, and my son won't catch up. And that is database. Last year, I took part in MakeoverMonday, and I achieved 100% submission. And also I received a bit of the day twice. And this dashboard is one of them. It presents usage patterns of legal and illegal drugs and demographic attributes, as well as personality traits of the sample. After publishing this dashboard, interestingly, I received the same question from multiple people. They downloaded the workbook and tried to reverse engineer how this radial heatmap was built, which is great. But they were stuck at one point where they needed to hide data. So it is a standard feature in Tableau still, but I realized that hide feature may not be known enough. So that led me to this presentation today. So here's what I'm going to cover today. So to start with, I'm going to show you 3 little use cases of how you can hide data to improve your visual, and also how to access these features. And the main, I want to build a radial heat map with the standard Tableau features from scratch. In that, I'm not going to use extensions, no scaffolding, not even polygons. To finish, I will add some interactivity to the heat map, and also I'll share my thoughts on that chart type. Okay, with that, let me move on to my Tableau desktop. Okay, so use case number 1. So here I have a bar chart showing the sum of sales across 4 years, split by 3 product categories. Nothing unusual, but it's standard chart. But I find this chart a little bit confusing because those bars are primarily split first by product category. But there is no logical space between the bars, and ideally I would have more space between the category so that I can focus on how the sales trends in each category. So to do that, I'm going to go to analysis, totals, and add all subtotals. By that, you can get a total bar. And one feature to hide is to hide a total column. So when you click a total bar, you see this little tooltip. And in that, you see automatic. This is where you can change how the total is calculated, like sum, average, min, max, as well as hide. Interestingly, if you select this hide option, then total bar disappears. This is how you can create a space between categories in the bar chart setting. And also you can hide this total label by right-clicking it, go to format, and remove the label. Like this way, you can create a logical space and make these three categories more clearer to read. Another use case. Here, I have sum of sales for a particular year, in this case 2022, and it shows a monthly sales trend. And along with the total sales of each month, I have month-over-month change. Right? But if you look at the first month, January, there is no month-over-month. This is simply because I filtered all the prior years out with this calculation. Therefore, Tableau is not able to find a prior month for the January. So what we can do instead is to bring this calculation into columns instead of filtering. Then you see a line chart split into 2. One with true, where you have the trend for only the latest sales year, and false for all the previous years. And with this setting, you can see that month over month is calculated because data is in the canvas. Okay, so what if I want to hide this line chart of false category in here? You can right-click the header, then hide. With that, even though you do not show the lines for the previous years, the data is still there in the background. So Tableau still can calculate a month over month in the first month on display. Another use case, I have a dot plot of showing percent of total sales in each product category. I added a little parameter so that you can select which region you want to focus, like central, east, south. But what if you want to only show the selected region while keeping the calculations correct? So another way to hide marks is on color legend. So if you click on false, actually right-click on false category, and then hide. In this way, you can only show the selected category through the parameter and while keeping the percent of total calculations correct, because in the background, Tableau still retains the record for the three other regions. So here's a distinction between hiding and filtering. So when you filter data, then the data doesn't come into the canvas. But while if you use hide, all data still come into the canvas, but you can choose not to show irrelevant marks. So these are three little use cases that that you can leverage if you want to improve your chart. Okay. And oops, sorry, where did it go? Okay. Then I'm going to move into creating a Radial Heatmap using drug usage data. Let me review the let's review the data first. Oops. Go to I'm going to go to data source. Okay. Sometimes it takes time to show the actual data. Let me go back to Heatmap once again. And there you go. All right, so the data looks like this. It's a data from a survey. So you have an ID column along with demographic attributes of the respondents, like age, gender, education, country, and ethnicity. And after that, you have a series of columns for each drug. And in each column, you have a usage data, where CL0 indicates never used, and CL3 indicates more frequent use. By the way, I modified this data set to for this presentation, so the data is synthetic. So don't rely on, don't trust it, don't take this data as a real data. Okay. So what I want to do first with data is to create a dimension, because I want to use drug names as a dimension as opposed to column. So I'm going to do a pivot, starting from alcohol column to the end of VSA, and then right click, pivot. Right, and then I'm going to rename this column as a drug, and this column as consumption level. Okay. All right. So before creating a Radial Heatmap, let me just get the normal heatmap to kind of confirm how the numbers should come out. So I'm going to bring consumption level into row and drag into columns. And then I'm going to use count distinct of ID to measure the usage. Yeah. And then I want to add a percent of total. And then I'm going to use compute using table done, so that each drug will add up to 100%. Okay. And lastly, I'm going to make it a heat map. Right. So this is the basis of what I'm going to create. Okay. So what I'm going to do is to use a series of pie chart to create a heat map that rounds this table. Okay. So Radial heat map is nothing but layers of pie chart using map layers. Okay. So as such, I'm going to create one dummy calculation. Let's call it center. And calculation is make point of 0 and 0. Okay. I'm going to bring the center calc into a canvas, which where Tableau creates a map with a little circle in it. Okay. I'm going to change mark type into pie, and I'm going to do a little bit of zoom in to make the pie bigger. By the way, on Windows. I'm doing this by pressing Control Shift and B. Okay, and adjust the size a little bit more. Okay. To begin with, I will bring drag into detail and add borderlines. Okay, so now the pie chart is now split by drugs. Okay, then I'm going to create 2 more calculations. First one is to separate the consumption level of interest over others. So, for example, for the first one, name CL0, where consumption level equals CL0. Okay, and bring this into color, which further splits the pies into each drug and also whether it is CS0 or not. Yeah. Now I'm going to create a measure. In this case, I'll name it just color, and calculation is count of consumption level divided by total of count distinct of ID. Okay. With that, if I bring this color into before I do that, I will remove this CL0 dimension into detail. Okay, and I will retain this dimension, but I'm going to hide this false category. Yeah. Then move this dimension into detail and apply color. So what it shows is, for example, alcohol, you have 17%, which matches with the original heat map. So the calculation is good. So what happened here is that I'm using the CL0 as a numerator, but in the background, I'm going to include all the consumption levels in each slice in the background, and it is simply the other consumption levels are not shown or hidden, but I can include them in the table calculation. Okay, so this is the basis of the Radial Heatmap. Then the rest is to simply replicate these steps a few more times. Okay, so I'm going to use this feature to create multiple calculations at the same time. CL1, just copy everything and put into data. CL2, copy everything and move, paste it to data pane. Right, this is all I needed. Okay. Next, I'm going to create another layer by bringing center into canvas, and then make this as a pie chart. Increase the size a little bit, and then add border color. And this time I'm going to bring CL1 into color. Also drag and CL1 and hide false. Then move CL1 into detail and apply color. And then put this layer to the back. Okay. Bear with me, repeating this 2 more times. Select the pie, adjust the size, add a borderline, bring drugs and CL2 and hide false. Move this to detail and then apply color to the back. Oops, sorry. Okay. And lastly, I'm going to add another layer, make it a pie, increase the size, and bring in drugs, add a borderline, and CL3 into color and hide. But this time I can do this. I can do this same thing by adding CL3 into columns. Like in the use case 2, I can you also hide these false marks from headers. and then bring this back to detail and apply color. And then move it back. Let me adjust a little bit. And by the way, if you are really keen to pixel perfect sizing, and you should publish your workbook to Tableau Public or Tableau Server or Cloud temporarily, because in Cloud or Server environment, you can adjust the sizing with exact percentage number, not just dragging the handle. Okay. As a last touch, I'm going to add a few more layers, bring into another center mark, and then this time I'm going to create a circle and increase sizing a little bit. Okay, and make it as a white background. Oops, sorry. And then add a little title. Something like this, and then maybe move the label into the center. Yeah. Also, I can do one more layer to show the categories. So bring it to another layer, and this time I'm going to use the pie, another pie, and I'm going to add drags into label, and then increase the size a little bit, and then move this to the back. Okay. Right. So now the Radial Heatmap is complete, and that's the last step. I'm going to hide the map by going map option, map menu, background maps, and select none. Okay, and make it an entire view. And you can work on formatting, like removing grid lines, and removing zero lines, and also removing axis rulers, and hide the headers. I can also change the color a little bit to make it more visually pleasing. I'm going to use green. Yeah. Okay, there you go. So here is the oh, sorry. Why keep changing my screen? All right. So here's a Radial Heatmap, and this is a Radial Heatmap that shows the level of consumption at each level in a Radial shape. Okay. And next thing I want to do is to add some interactivities to this heat map. So for example, filtering. Okay, so if I add, let's say, age into filters, and let's say I use all to begin with, and show the filters, and make it a single select. Okay, and it works nicely to show the consumption patterns of a selected age category until you hit these categories. So if you selected the 60 plus age category, what happened was that some layers completely looks broken. Right? So for example, here I only have alcohol, benzos, and cannabis. This is because I use a filter. So there are drugs that these age category never applied. So if you look at the heat map, original heat map once again, and apply the filter of the 60 plus, you see there are only 3 marks available: right? Alcohol, benzos, cannabis. So filtering doesn't work properly if you have such a case in the data. So what I can do instead is to use another way to filter this Radial Heatmap. So I'm going to create another worksheet that works as a filter. So I'm going to add age into rows and do a count distinct ID as a measure. Okay, and I'm going to put these two worksheets together on a dashboard. And what I want to do is to use this bar chart as a filter. So when you click an age group, then this Radial Heatmap filters, but not like you're actually using a filter in a worksheet. So for this purpose, I'm going to use a set action. Okay, so I'm going to create set from age. Okay, and use all to start with. And then I'm going to add this set as a condition in a calculation. So instead of count of consumption level, I'm going to use if this set, then consumption level. And I'll do the same for the denominator. If age set, then ID. So I'm going to embed this filter conditions as a part of calculation, not using the filters as a functionality. Okay, and on the dashboard, I'm going to create a set action. No, sometimes it throws me on this error these days. Okay, so I'm going to add a set action and change the set values. It takes time to bring new windows. Okay, so this set action is triggered from age worksheet on select, and I'm going to update the age set, leaving the other these options as they are. So running the action will assign the values to the set, and creating the selection will add all values back to the set. I hit OK, and then if I click a bar or category, then the Radial Heatmap updates. And even if you click the 60 plus category, then Tableau still retains all the marks because because in the canvas you still have all data, and it is only the calculation that produces the color that considers these sets. Okay. So I know I went through a little bit fast, but don't worry. As I mentioned, this session was recorded. But also, as soon as I finish my part, I'm going to publish a workbook in my Tableau profile so that you can kind of follow through what I did in this presentation.
Yeah. That would be very useful, Nobu. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right. So back to my presentation. Okay. So a few thoughts on Radial Heatmap. So after I created this Radial Heatmap, I had a few thoughts on how best we can utilize this chart type. And I think that this Radial Heatmap can work best when your dimension is either cyclic or directional, which means that your dimensions has a cycle. For example, a month is a good example. Starting from January and ends in December. But December naturally connects to January. Or you have a dimension such as direction, north, south, east, west. South is always opposite of north, or the west is always opposite of east. So if your dimension has such a directional relationship between them, you can utilize this Radial Heatmap in its best way. Also, your category, in this case, consumption level, needs a radial position, meaning that the physical distance from the center to the circle has some meaning. So in my case, the innermost circle indicates CL0, which is never used. The outermost circle is CL3, which is more frequent usage. So you need to have such a category where distance from the center has a meaning. So in retrospect, this radial heat map doesn't match the first condition. So either dimension is either cyclic or directional. So probably this data set is not best suited for this chart type. But after I thought I should have used this chart for other data set. But again, what I want to say is that a chart that looks great doesn't necessarily mean the best for analysis. So you always take a careful consideration between the visual aesthetics and analytical usage. Also, I found a few drawbacks of this radial heat map. One of them is area distortion. So the outer marks have more surface area, so which I may present it may lead to misinterpretation, because even the value is the same, the outer segment looks bigger. So be aware of that. And the other weakness is that in this chart, you are relying only on color gradient to represent the measure. And so, gradient colors is not the best for human eyes to read quantity. So be aware that your users will not be able to read exact measurement from the color. So one way to mitigate that weakness is to use stepped color. So going back to the worksheet, I might use different color scheme, like adding stepped color, let's say from 10 steps, and make sure you start from 0 and end in 1. So these 10 steps indicates 10% increment as the color gets darker. Okay. Like this. Okay. Where is my presentation? Where did it go? Okay, and as a last thought, okay. So just recap and takeaways. So what hiding means in Tableau, it can improve clarity by creating logical white space, or you can perform table calculation using hidden marks. And also you can remove irrelevant marks to improve focus to your audience. And these features are available in totals or subtotals, or from headers, or from color legend. Okay. So that's a wrap, and thank you for your attention. And I'm happy to, if you have time, I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, so let's see. Amazing talk, great techniques, lots of tips.
Thank you.
So again, please rewatch this and use the charts as you will. But also, I like the kind of warnings at the end. Sometimes a lot of the stuff we do involves trade-offs, and so just be mindful about your specific use case and whether this is something you want to do. But overall, a great tool to have in your belt there.
Thank you.
All right. Questions. Let's see. First one. How can you tell what data is being hidden on a sheet? Speaking of documentation. So I guess building on, is this for this one? No. Wrong question.
But I think it's a good, great question, and I'm happy to address that.
Okay. Please do. Thank you.
Yep. So in the if you have hidden marks like this, you can see if any marks are hidden or not from right-clicking on dimension in the canvas. Let's see. Okay, not in here, but you can if it's in okay, if it's in columns, you can show where did it go? Oh, so I did it in color. So yeah. So you see show hidden data. So if you select, then you can bring the hidden marks back. Okay. And the same for the columns. Yeah, so I think this option is available where you hide the data. So if I bring, if I select show hidden data, then I can bring the hidden components back. But again, it's also good to document, because by the face of it, you won't be able to know whether marks are hidden or not.
Yeah, that's one of the funny things. Like, there's stuff like this in Tableau where you accidentally discover it, but then you realize it's really useful. It's like, I should have known this a long time ago. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. So great presentation. Please watch this again. There's so much value here.
Okay.
And last but not least, let me share my screen. All right. So last but not least, we have Maureen, aka that Tableau gal. Maureen is a Tableau developer and BI analyst with over 3 years of experience, specializing in creating engaging dashboards and reports. She works as a BI analyst at Data Solutions, collaborating with clients in AI, infrastructure, and analytics to deliver impactful solutions. She's a Tableau ambassador, and she's received 4 visited days. She is a frequent speaker at events. She shares her insights on BI and data visualization. And she's really passionate about learning and growth, and it's her mission to empower others with data literacy and skills. I feel, I've been kind of honored to see Maureen's growth over the years. And I think I have to say that her passion for growth and continuous learning is one of those things that has really driven her to achieve a lot in such a small amount of time. And even as we transition into the age of AI and agentic analytics, I'm not surprised to see her getting her hands dirty and figuring out all the different ways that we can add value with these tools. And so she's going to bring some of that to us today with a presentation on how we can talk to Tableau, which is the introduction to MCP, and how we can basically converse one-on-one using AI and get value and extract information from our dashboards. So I'm going to pass it over to her to get us the goodies. I'm really excited for this one. I'm like a serious AI enthusiast, even though I know some people are like, not too into that. But I think this is one that we can probably agree is going to be helpful for most of us. So over to you, Maureen.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. That was quite an introduction. That is so much better than what I have on my presentation. So thank you. All right. I'm gonna share my screen now. Yep. I guess we can all see my screen. So yeah, I think Jindy has really done a good justice on the profile, but just to give you guys more context, I'm such a happy person, number one, but I am a business intelligence analyst. I work at Data Solutions or Suite. I specialize more in Tableau visualization. Recently, out of my curiosities and trying to figure out what's AI going to do with my job, I'm now more into AI enhanced analytics and enterprise reporting solutions. I have experience in healthcare marketing just because I work in consulting, maybe. Then I am a 2-time Tableau ambassador. Like Jim just said, I love speaking. I've spoken at the Data Fam conference in London. I am also a co-lead at the Lagos Tableau user group. So if you see any yellow and blue flyer anywhere on your LinkedIn, just know that is from Lagos Tableau user group. So this picture over here is fun facts about me. As you can see, I am like really excited. One of the things going on here is I just finished eating, guys. I love to eat. Then secondly was I'm on a trip. So I traveled, and these are the 2 things that make me happy. But nevertheless, I still have to work just to afford those trips. But yeah, let's go into the main business of today, which is Tableau MCP. If this is your first time of hearing about Tableau, Tableau MCP, maybe you're not late to the party, you're quite early, right? But we're going to be talking about agentic analytics with Tableau MCP, which is going to serve as a guide for Tableau developers on bridging the gap between AI and data visualization. So if this is your first time of hearing about Tableau MCP, we're going to define it. So MCP is literally what we call the USB-C of AI. or USB-C of LLMs. So it's the model context protocol that provides a standardized way to connect AI models like Claude, ChatGPT, maybe Copilot, to various external environments or tools, such as Tableau in this case, without needing to build maybe an API or a custom integrations for that specific tool or for that specific AI rather. So let's talk about before and after. Before MCP, we do not have access to talk to Claude the way we want to. Most of the time, LLMs are like blind silos. Claude cannot see or interact or take action in our Tableau environment. So before now, what I do is, if I really like the dashboard and I really want to know what is going on, I get to do what we call reverse engineering. And I have to open the dashboard, get the information, copy the calculated fields one by one, maybe paste it on my GPT or my Claude, ask it questions to define it. And some of the times these things don't even have context to what we're trying to tell it to do. So without MCP, there's no access to Tableau server. There's no visibility into public visits, which is one of the conversations we'll be having today. There's manual data export required. So the time you waste trying to reverse engineer all of those stuff, trying to understand what is going on in that dashboard, it might take you a couple of hours to do so. But thankfully, with MCP Bridge, Claude becomes an active participant in your data ecosystem. It understands your side, your workbooks, and your intent. So you have direct server query. You have automated research. So I don't know if you've heard about the Tableau Public MCP. This is the new MCP that was built by, shout out to Will Sutton, by the way, he built it for the community. So we're going to talk about it today as well. There's strategic digital level. There's less manual time spent on trying to understand what is going on in a dashboard. So today we'll be looking at these two tools, Claude, Tableau Cloud and Server, then Tableau Public. For Claude, it's just an AI assistant that understands. I think everybody knows about Claude now. If you don't know about Claude, if you don't know about OpenAI, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're living in the bushes, maybe. But yeah, we'll be looking at Claude and MCP. We'll be looking at Tableau Cloud and Tableau Server, then Tableau Public. Let's see how this flows. So what happens is you open your Claude and ask questions in plain English. Then Claude thinks about what your intentions are, then uses MCP to act on it, then Tableau responds back to give it back to Claude. So you ask question on Claude, how many dashboards do I have on my Tableau server or published Tableau server, or how many data sets do I have in this particular data set, or how many fields in this case. So Tableau thinks, Claude thinks, MCP asks, then Tableau responds. So today, let's talk about the Tableau Enterprise MCP. I call it Tableau Enterprise MCP because now we have multiple Tableau MCPs. We have Tableau Cloud MCP, we have Tableau Next MCP, we have Tableau Public MCP now. So for the enterprise level, this is like for organizations. Here, the enterprise bridge is connecting AI to your Tableau server or your cloud ecosystem. So we have about 19 tools. 19 tools means you can do 19 tasks if you're using a Tableau MCP. And I think we'll look into those tasks just for review. But think of it as giving Claude a toolbox. When you ask a question, Claude gets to pick the right tool, queries your Tableau, and writes back the answer to you. So out of the 19 tools, you can chat with your data, such as asking natural language questions and getting accurate answers from your published data source. Secondly is security and governance. So because of how delicate the data is, this Tableau MCP requires an authentication. So you need a personal access tokens and all respect your existing Tableau site and user permission. Then we have flexibility development. You can deploy via Cloud Desktop, which I'll show us today, and also embedded via Tableau extensions. I think this is the faster version. Then for privacy option, use this on your local LLMs. I wouldn't advise anybody to use Claude on their company's data set unless you want to get fired. Please do not use it on your company's data set. That's what we call LM Studio. LM Studio is you can have these LLMs on your local environment. So I think Tableau team talked about it. There's a video out there where he mentioned about LM Studio. So you can use LM Studio to connect to your organization's data set. But if you're working on your personal data and you really want to do things faster, maybe your calculated fields and all of that, then you can use Tableau MCP on Claude. Then we have Tableau Public MCP, which will be the conversation of today. So when Annabelle reached out to me to talk about Tableau MCP, to talk about the topic here, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I probably choose Tableau MCP. Then when I was doing my research to really understand how it works, I stumbled upon Tableau Public MCP. I don't know how many persons know about this, but like I said, it's a community tool that Wilson really provided for us. So here we have about 22 tools. So it can do 22 tasks for you. There's no authentication needed. You can easily search your visualization on Tableau Public. So if you have an inspiration, you want to see how other people are publishing their visit, you want to see the visit of the day, you want to analyze an author, you want to understand how someone built their dashboard, the calculations, you can use Tableau Public MCP. So the featured capability can download any TWS file, unpack it, and show you exactly how it is built. Every calculated field, every LOD expression. So here we should note that the workbook or the dashboard must be downloadable. If it's not downloadable, there's no way you can have access to that. So there's no shortcut to this. So it has to be a downloadable workbook for you to be able to have access to it using Tableau Public MCP. So let's look at the TWBX anatomy, which is normally we call it reverse engineering. So like I said, Claude can download your TWBX file, unpack it, explain exactly how it's built. This is just like X-ray for your dashboards. Every calculated field is being explained. You can even tell Claude, can you explain this as if you're explaining it to a 5-year-old. Now imagine having someone else's calculated field being explained to you explicitly. I think that is amazing, and that is less work. So let's look at our developer checklist before we go into trying to integrate this in Claude. So before you start working on Tableau MCP, you must have these 3 things configured. 1, you must have the Node.js 20+. This is required for both Tableau Public MCP and Tableau MCP. Then you require authentication if you are trying to configure for Tableau MCP. Then you configure if you are trying to, sorry guys, you're going to use your Claude desktop config.json file on your local machine so that Claude can connect to that MCP. So let's quickly go on the, okay, let's open this. Let's move this here. Okay, you know what? Let's first check if I have the Node.js on my desktop. So let's check. So I have this version called 22.17. So if you don't have it, I think Will has this documentation just for references. Yep. So there's a documentation here on GitHub where you can go through all of these things and even download your Node.js to make sure it's on your system. So once you've downloaded this, the next thing you need to do is to copy paste this on your Claude file. So how do you get this? This is mostly on our, if you're Mac, you can find it here, or rather, let me show you. So if you're Mac, you can find it here. If you're on Windows, you can find it here. So since I'm on Mac, I have done this. So if you're on Mac and you want to quickly get this, all you need to do is, let's close this. Okay, I've already pasted it here. So you click enter. So what I did is Command-Shift-G, it brings out this for you so you can easily check the files you have on your folders. So when you do this, it opens this. Let's cancel. When you open this, you have to copy paste. You have to copy paste this. So this is the easiest version. Once you've installed your npm, which is a node.js as well, once you've installed it, copy this to your Claude. And Claude gets to connect this to the Claude desktop. So once you've done that, the next thing is to make sure you cancel Claude or quit Claude in this essence. Quit it, then reopen it. Once that is done, you would have to check if you have your Tableau Public. So here I have my Tableau Public connected. I have my Tableau connected. I have my Claude in Chrome connected as well. So let's talk about the Tableau MCP. So if I want to work with my Tableau MCP and I have not connected to Tableau MCP before, all you need to do is go to your settings and let's go to extensions. Extensions. Okay, Claude is not responding today. Are we fighting? Great. All right. So we go to browse extension. Make sure you click desktop. So we have the web version. We have the desktop version. Click on the desktop. Look for Tableau MCP Tableau. So once you click here, which is the Tableau version, you configure. So when you're trying to configure this, you have to, because it's Tableau MCP, you have to have your authentications. So you have personal access token. Where can you get this? You can get this if you have a Tableau server or Tableau cloud. You can get it here on your profile. Go to my account, then give it a minute. I think I've been logged out. Okay. Are we back? I have to give it access. Sorry, guys. Okay. So we're trying to get our personal access token. So if this is your first time logging in, go to your profile, like I said, go to settings and scroll down and you'll find it here. So I generated mine, I think February of this month, and 3rd of February rather, and it's going to expire 2027. So all you need to do is create the token, give it a token name, make sure you save the token somewhere because it takes 1 year for it to expire unless you want to like clear off what you have on Claude. So once you copy your token, you go back to Claude, paste it here, have your token name, then copy your server or your cloud URL, then the name, and save. So that's how it works. So once you do that, here, I don't think you need to shut down Claude for you to see if it's connected or not. So let's open a new chat. So when you click here, you will see that this is connected. Let's go back to a slide. Okay, so that is for public MCP, and this is for normal Tableau MCP. So what I showed you is using the desktop extension. So we don't need to code all of these things into the Claude file. So let's look at some of the manual tasks in Tableau that is now automated with MCP. Like I said, for the Tableau Public MCP, you can do about 22 different things in there, but I brought out this top 5 because I feel like it's kind of relatable to everyone. So number 1 is discovery and research. Here, the old way we used to do this is to waste so much time trying to find inspiration on Tableau Public by scrolling on Tableau Public. So you keep on looking at people's work, which is, I find it amazing. But what if you have something that you don't even have time to do the whole research, you just want specific stuff? Hunting for the same dashboards and bookmarking can be very crazy. So how about we do it the MCP way? Now we can run few commands to instantly pull the top trending visits, grab the thumbnails. I don't think we can grab thumbnails now on this because it doesn't show any images yet. Maybe Will might fix it. But you can build a curated gallery in second. So we are going to use this prompt, and I think I'd love everybody to engage on this. So if you have any dashboard on Tableau Public you want me to use, please let me know. If you have something to ask for the Public MCP, please, you can paste it on the chat as well. Let's quickly copy this. Great. Let's copy this. And so let's paste it here. So let's read the prompt first. Good. So we are telling Claude to use search visualization. So search visualization is one of the tools you can use in Tableau Public MCP to find the top 5 Tableau Public visits about sales performance. Then we're telling it for each return a thumbnail URL, title, view link, and author name. Then get vis of the day to return the 3 most recent vis of the day entries. So the get vis of the day is another tool. I think we can see it clearly here, yeah, because it's in a different color. So we are using 1, 2, 3 tools to answer this discovery and research question. So then use the get vis of the day to return the 3 most recent vis of the day entries. Then finally use get featured author, which is one of the tools as well, to list 3 featured author for each. Then give their name, follower count, 1 sentence on their work, present result in a clean table format. So this is the prompt we're going to give Claude. This is a live demo. Claude, please do not disappoint me. Okay. Yep. So let's wait for it. So what Claude is doing now, let's see, is searching. Let's allow it. Okay, actually knows my name. Let me pull all these 3 data sources simultaneously. Okay, great. It's grabbing the thumbnails for the 5 performance visits. Let's see. All 3 data set retrieved. Here's everything presented clean. Good. Okay. So there's a version I was expecting it to output for me, the HTML version of this. Maybe we can ask it to do that since we're on Claude. And also, if you are using Claude, you can use the Sonnet 4.6, which is the recent model that I think is amazing as well, almost competing with the Opus 4.6. So let's tell Claude to generate the recent outputs as HTML formats. Let's see. I haven't tried this before, but let's see. Someone said, Claude, I don't think Claude, John, you said, I don't think Claude is that accurate. He didn't pull up Chimdi or Annabelle stuff. What stuff do you want to pull up? Because I can't stop my presentation now and look into this right now. So can you tell me the stuff you want to pull up? We can do it right now. So it's giving me the HTML version. Let's see. So we have Dan. Dan said, the best thing about MCP is that the LLM can interact with both your data and the internet. So I've asked it to analyze superstore sales per capita by state, for example, and it got the population data from the web. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what is going on. So remember, the prompt was to generate top 5 public visits about sales performance. Let's look at this. If Pradeep is not on this top 5 sales performance, I would definitely know there's something wrong with Claude. So let's click on this and see. Oh no. Okay. So we have number 1, Pradeep. We have Miranda. Let's see what Miranda got. Let's try and upload these links. Andy, Olushola. Great. All right, Miranda. By view counts. That we have this. Great. We have this. So when you look at them, they all have superstore sales performance. So that was what we vividly told Claude to do. So if you're trying to get maybe an inspiration, the title you're using is going to determine the kind of dashboard you're going to see as well. So that is example number 1. Let's look at the number 2 example, workbook documentation. I'm happy we had the conversation on documentation, and let's see what Tableau Public can do for us. So I'm going to do like one more on this, then we go to like full business case study. I don't know how much time I have, Anna. Please prompt me if I'm taking so much time. So here for the workbook documentation, before documenting was I'm not gonna say this, Preethi, it's not the absolute worst. Opening desktop, clicking through every calculated field, copy pasting it into Word, and manually tracing dependencies. No wonder it was frequently skipped entirely. Well, personally, I do not like documenting. I don't think half of the projects I've done is documentation process, but I can walk you through every process, and there is comments on them. Please do justice by going into the workbook and reading it yourself. Please don't do this, please. Document your work, please. So for the MC way, we automatically extract every formula, dependency chain, and sheet structure, instantly converting it into clean, readable documentation without opening Tableau. So this is what we're going to use. This is the prompt. So we're going to say for Tableau Public workbook, any workbook, use workbook details, which is one of the tools, to retrieve its structure, then download workbook TWS and get the calculated field to extract all the calculated fields for each field. Return the name, formula, data type, and direct dependencies. Only skip orphan fields. Orphan fields are fields that are not dependent on anything or even not entirely used in the workbook. So output a simple 4-column table, limit to the first 10 calculated field. Is that me? Okay. So let's copy this and ask Claude again. Did we finish this? I don't think we finished this. Well, here, Claude has put three most recent views of the day, which is 26th, 25th, and 24th. Today's date is 26th. Can someone please confirm this for me? If we have Tanya as views of the day for today.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. I just call check. Tanya
Absolutely.
is of the day today. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, Anna. So you see, we have views of the day today and other views of the days. And then let's talk about featured author, featured Tableau visionary authors. So we have Darren, we have Dennis, we have Walaho. So these are the people that built projects around Superstore. I mean, sales performance in this case. So we gave Tableau, gave Claude another prompt. Did I put this prompt? Oh, no, I didn't. All right. Let's see. Looks like you like, oh, we didn't have a workbook URL. So let's get something. You know what? I'm interested in, do we still have Nobu on the call? Nobu, is your dashboard downloadable?
I am, yeah. It is, yes.
I think I opened it earlier. Oh, yeah. So we're going to use Nobu's link, Nobu's dashboard, and see. Please, this is my first time trying this. Whatever Claude gave us, please, it's not from me. You're going to blame it on Claude.
I'm scared.
So you should. So let's say here is the workbook link. I think he already has context of our prompts. Let's see. So it's getting the details, allow data access, confirm. Okay, it's downloading, unpacking the TWS like we told it to. It's getting the calculated fields for us. Still thinking, organizing it in the table format. We wanted 4 columns. Yeah, it's curating it. Here's a complete. Claude, come on. Why are you giving me this on a table? So we're going to do this on HTML, please, because I don't like seeing this when I'm working with Claude. So let's see. Give me this output on HTML format. I hope it does. So let's, we're going to give it some time to do that. It's generating the artifact for us. So let's go back to the slides. We're supposed to do this third one, but since I'm going to be sharing the slide with Anna, I think maybe we can do that ourselves. Then let's look at the proper case study. I would love us to try this last one on community and network. We're going to do that. But for case study, what if this is you're in a real life situation where a dashboard has been handed over to you? How do you get to dissect this dashboard, reverse engineer it to understand what is going on? So here I gave it Neil Sminger's dashboard, OKR dashboard, which I think is really amazing, this particular dashboard. So we're going to use it for our case study. It's going to take a lot of time because this prompt is different from the other prompts we've been giving it. So we're going to do only one of these. Either we do this or we do the executive where you're trying to make your executive really understand the jargons you have on your dashboard. Sometimes when you send a dashboard to an executive, they don't really understand what is going on. Please explain this metric. How did you get this metric? What is this? What is that? So we can actually use this prompt for it. And lastly, maybe you are a junior data analyst and your senior data analyst handed over a dashboard to you and said you should understand the concepts and the walkthroughs of the dashboard. How do you get to do that? So we're going to use that prompt. We're going to use that prompt for it, and we are going to act as a senior developer, handing over the dashboard. We're going to use MCP to extract all logic, walk the junior through calculations from base field up until complex LODs, teach the LOD concept via the formulas, flag the fragile logic, and the rest. So I think I would let us pick one of the things we want to show. Are we looking at OKR, the executive, or the insights? While we're doing that, let me if we're done. Ugh. Okay, Claude. All right, so we have this. Nobu, I'm going to let you really confirm if what we have here is true or not. But I don't know, because maybe Club might be deceiving everybody here. So let's confirm.
Okay.
Claude said you have 16 calculated fields, 2 parameters, 7 source fields, and 10 shown below. So let's confirm this first from Nobu before we go ahead with the specific.
Yeah, I'm scared to see my poor naming convention of fields. Right. That's good. Okay to me. Yeah.
When I see that. Oh, no.
Yeah, one thing to note is that when you copy and paste or duplicate a field, then your kind of original name is somehow lost, because if you look at the formula in the first row, like filter, so after if it says calculation to those random numbers. So that won't happen if you create its calculated field from scratch. But if you do the duplicate, then this happens. So it's a good practice to always create a new calculation, not to duplicate, which I do quite often.
Okay, but let's make it easy for you. The field is exactly the same you have on your.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's likelihood the calculations might be the same. Let's look at key observations. Nobu, sorry for putting you on the spot right now, but we have to confirm this. So analysis node, selected drop frequency. Okay. It uses an all condition to show all records when both parameters are blank.
Oh yes, this is from parameter action. Yeah.
Okay. Frequency TLO, CLC are Boolean flag family. Each isolates one consumption frequency level from the pivoted data. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a perfect description of what it does. Yes.
Okay. I don't think we should go for that. I think Claude is right, guys. Are we so sorry to that? But let's go back to what we have here. So I don't know if we made a decision on what to go for here. I just have like 6 more minutes, I guess. So let's try this. Let's try this. So we are telling Claude, go to Mira's dashboard, use Tableau Public MCP tools to download the TWS file, extract all calculated fields and LODs, and map out calculation dependencies. Then explain the logic as if you were the original developer working a new hire through the why behind the progress versus the target math in plain English. Well, Nir's dashboard is full of mathematics because he had a lot of map layers work done while building the dashboard. So we're going to paste it here, and let's see. let's get the, okay, it's downloadable. Let's let it load. Just make sure we have the link. Okay, let's just get it. So this is our link. Please generate this in HTML format. Please add please where you're telling your LLMs before they come after you and say you're not using please for them. Please add please. Always add please. I know what I'm saying. With the
I always do that, Maureen. I always do that.
Please, guys, do that. Because the kind of news we've been seeing is so scary. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, so unpacking it. All right, while we wait for this, do we have any questions? Anna, do we have any questions you want me to attend to?
Let me check if we have question. John said he didn't know about the duplication of the field. And he also asked a question, can you take the XML text of your dashboard, copy and paste into that Claude, and have Claude make you a Tableau workbook documentation for it with formula relationship? And I think that you more or less already respond.
Okay, let me see, because my screen just...
No, one question I had while the LLM is working is, will it be possible to give him, like, for instance, a Tableau profile and ask him to find some inspiration based on what we already publish? Like to have like some idea related to what we like, or yeah.
Yeah, we can. I think we should try that after this. Yeah,
It's just me trying to find some inspiration. That is cute.
I think it can. It can actually get such information. Okay, it's loading. Anna, do you want me to attend to the questions?
Yes, but I think that you already more or less answered, no? But you can check like John question about workbook documentation, but I think yeah.
John, where is John? On the chat or on the Q&A?
On Q&A.
Okay. Did not know about duplication of fields. Oh, good tip. Thank you, John. Can you take the XML text of your dashboard, copy and paste that into Claude? No. So Claude can actually only access your dashboard if there's an MCP connected to that, except I haven't tried maybe dashboard on Tableau Public. I don't know if it has the capacity to do that. Maybe you can try that on your end. Said have Claude make you a Tableau workbook documentation for if you really want to do all of these things, then you have to be connected to MCP. A nice prompt. Thank you, Eric. Okay, what are those 19 tools? Barry, the 19 tools are like the 19 tasks. While this is loading, let me quickly show you. Here. So, you asked 19 tools is for Tableau MCP, but for Tableau Public MCP, it has 22. So there are 22 available tools here, and you can get profile, do this, get profile basic, get workbook details, workbook content. So Barry, these are the tools or the tasks you can do when using your MCPs. I think I should answer the question. No, okay, that's for Nobu, that's not me. All right, guys, let's see. So this is the reason why I said we should pick just one, because this prompt is quite heavy and it might take a lot of time. So this might be the last demo. Then the final one will be for the community, which is the number 5. Let's see. This just to get profile, get favorites. It's not that heavy for Claude. This is going to take a lot of time, guys. But do I have any more questions? I can use this time to answer the question. So once we're done, we wrap it up. How are you saving your prompts? What's your prompt library system? To be honest, I don't think I have a prompt library system, do I? I've tried to create a document like a Google Docs where I can have all my prompts in there, but I've been inconsistent. I'm going to be very honest and transparent. I've been inconsistent with it. But each time I really want to work on something, I already know what I want. I'll just tell Claude to do that. And it gets the information for me. While we're waiting for this, I think I have one more stuff to show us. Okay, I mentioned Claude in Chrome. So Claude in Chrome, since we're talking about AI and MCP, let's just do it. So Claude in Chrome is Claude product that you can use to search stuff on your website or on your web. So here, if we ask Claude, let's just get quick stuff. Let's say, get me Chimdi's Moses profile. Or let's say, give me, this is just like a general prompt. Give me full information on Chimdi Moses profile. Let's see. So I hope this works. What's going to happen is it goes to Tableau Public and
I think that we have lost Maureen. Maureen, can you hear us?
I lost her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's frozen.
Yeah. Too much Claude. I think that she forgot the please at during the last prompt. So let's see if she's coming
Oh, we
back.
just saw her. Yeah.
Just checking if she's coming back. Yeah, exactly. Shimdi file is so large, it's taking a lot of time to compute. Absolutely. Ah, she's back. Hi, Maureen.
yeah, I mean, these are the perks of doing demo live.
Yeah.
I just, Claude just took me off. It shut down. So I'm not going to try that. Just do that when you're free time.
Please the information, the answer in social media later. If you do it again, don't worry.
Or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn if you really want to know about it. But yeah, the prompts we just gave Claude. So this is what it gave us. This is a very comprehensive stuff. So if you really want to do something as comprehensive as this to understand what is going on a very one of this dashboard, you can actually use this prompt for it, and it gives you all of this information as well. So Anna, I think I'm going to stop now before I got kicked out again.
Don't worry. It was a very interesting for me to learn about this topic that I didn't know anything about. So thank you very much, Maureen.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, this is fun. I think this is one where it's like you sometimes might have to kind of go back and forth. At least when I talk to people who use a lot of the LLM stuff, sometimes you go back and forth and then you eventually kind of figure out like a seamless way. So I think this is honestly a normal part of the process, if you ask me.
Someone asked a question. Simply, sorry, can I take the question, please?
Yes, please do. You can actually go directly into the Q&A, if you will, and then yeah.
Okay.
They should be there.
Okay, let me see.
But yes, as soon as that I receive all the document links that you want, that the speaker wants me to share with the audience, I will like upload the video and add everything, and on social media and on YouTube.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to conclude, Chimdi, the session today?
Absolutely, sure. Let's do this. Yeah, thanks for everyone who has stayed. I think we've gotten lots of practical value today. I think this is definitely one of the ones that are worth watching. And so be on the lookout for in your email. We'll send you a link once the video is ready. And of course, feel free to reach out to any of the speakers, if you will. They're always happy to share things. Prasan is not feeling too great. And so, you know, I've known he's been doing this for a really long time. And this is literally the first time that I've seen him call in sick for anything. So if you can, do show him some love, wish him some well wishes, and we hope to see him, you know, with us back next month again.
Thank you very much, guys.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.